If you're thinking about jumping into DTF printing for your apparel side hustle or small business, you've probably already noticed how quickly the costs can add up. Between the printer itself, ink, film, and maintenance, it's easy to drop serious cash before you even make your first sale. So before you click buy, you need to know if this MZK A3 Pro F1080 is actually going to work for you, or if it's just another overhyped machine that'll leave you stuck with wasted supplies and a headache. The link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's be real, most people who get into DTF printing do it because they want to print custom shirts, hoodies, or tote bags without relying on a third-party service. Maybe you're a designer who wants to sell your own merch, or you run a small print shop and need a machine that can keep up with orders without breaking the bank. Either way, you don't want something that's going to jam every 5 prints or require constant babysitting. The A3 Pro promises 2x speed over the older L1800 model, which is a big deal if you're trying to scale up production. But speed doesn't mean much if the prints come out blurry, or the printhead clogs every time you take a coffee break. One of the first things you'll notice about this printer is the 5-inch LED touchscreen and the high-performance motherboard. That might sound like tech jargon, but in practice, it means the machine boots up fast, responds quickly to commands, and lets you navigate settings without fumbling through a maze of buttons. If you've ever used a printer that feels like it's running on dial-up from 2005, you'll appreciate how smooth this feels. The dual ink monitoring system is another real-world upgrade. It keeps an eye on ink levels in real time, so you're not guessing when to refill. That might not sound like a big deal until you've run out of ink mid-job and had to reprint an entire batch. Trust me, it happens. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, maintenance. DTF printers are notorious for clogging if you don't use them regularly, and that can turn a $500 machine into a paperweight overnight. The A3 Pro tries to solve this with an intelligent timed anti-clogging cleaning system and a holiday mode that runs automatic cleanings even when you're not around. That's huge if you're not printing every single day. I've seen too many small business owners buy a printer, use it for a week, then let it sit for a month only to find out the printhead is completely gunked up when they finally need it. This machine at least gives you a fighting chance to keep it running smoothly. The free ink and powder deal is also worth a closer look. Starting in 2025, you get 2 years of free ink and powder, which is basically a $300 to $400 value if you're buying supplies separately. That's not just a discount, it's a way to offset the upfront cost of the printer itself. If you're just testing the waters with DTF printing, that free ink could be the difference between turning a profit and eating the cost of a failed experiment. But here's the catch: make sure you actually need the extra ink. If you're only printing a few shirts a week, you might not go through it fast enough to justify the printer's price in the first place. Speaking of price, this isn't a cheap machine. It's in the same ballpark as other high-end DTF printers, so if you're just starting out, you might want to consider whether you really need the speed and features now. The A3 Pro is best for people who are serious about printing, whether that's for a side business, a full-time gig, or even just fulfilling orders for friends and family. If you're only printing a handful of shirts a month, you might be better off with a smaller, more affordable printer until you build up demand. But if you're already taking orders and need something that can keep up, this could be a solid investment. One thing to watch out for is the learning curve. DTF printing isn't as plug-and-play as regular inkjet printing. You'll need to learn how to use the software, adjust temperature settings, and troubleshoot issues like ink smudging or film not adhering properly. The included software is user-friendly, but it's not foolproof. If you're not tech-savvy, plan to spend some time watching tutorials or reading guides before you dive in. There's nothing worse than wasting a whole roll of film because you missed a setting. Another practical consideration is the size. This printer uses 100mm, 33cm wide DTF film, which is great for bulk orders, but might be overkill if you're only printing small designs. Make sure your workspace can accommodate it, and think about whether you'll actually use that much width. If you're mostly printing logos or small graphics, you might end